Welcome to the channel Physics by IITians, where you get the deep understanding of physics. So here we have started the discussion of electromagnetic theory, and we are with the previous year problems of NET, GATE, JAM. Okay, today I will discuss some of the problems which has come in CSIR Physical Science exam of 2012. Okay, let's start. Before starting the video, please subscribe our channel and like the video and also put your valuable comment. Okay. So the question is, the magnetic field corresponding to the vector potential A is half F cross R plus 10 by R cube into R vector, where F is a constant vector. So question asks that what is the magnetic field corresponding to this potential, that is vector potential. Now we all know that B equals to curl of A, where A is the vector potential and B is the magnetic field. So A has been given, we have to take the curl of A vector. Before proceeding to solving, I want to tell you that why this is called vector potential. This is called vector potential because suppose you have a force and you have a potential. So how do you get the force from that potential? We all know that if V is the potential and F is the force, then we can write that F equals to minus grad V. But this is the gradient of this potential. Applying the gradient of this on this potential, we can get a force field. Okay. So this is similar. The curl is like a gradient operation. So on the gradient of this potential, we will get another field. That's why this is called vector potential. Since this is a vector quantity and the curl will be also a gradient, okay, the grad operation. So that's why this is called vector potential. And another thing is you have to understand that what do you mean by the constant vector, because the constant vector, in question F is a constant vector. So constant vector means, suppose F is a constant vector, you take the magnitude F1, which will be constant along x cap and will be same along y cap or j cap, I cap, j cap, and will be same along k cap. Okay, the constant will be the magnitude of the vector is same along the three directions. So suppose 0, 0, 0 this is a constant vector, or 1, 5, 1, 1, 3, 9. This is a constant vector. These are not varying with time. These are the constants. Okay. Now let us proceed to the question that we have to take the curl of magnetic vector potential. So for simplicity, I write the first curl of A is half. I put the half outside and curl of F cross R plus 10 by R cube into R vector. Then I take curl of F cross R and curl of R vector by R cube. Okay. So curl of F cross R becomes F1. This will be I cap into F1 plus F1 minus j cap into minus F1 plus F1 plus k cap into F1 plus F1. That is 2 F1 I cap plus 2 F1 j cap plus 2 F1 k cap. That is 2 into F vector, which I get as curl of F cross R. Secondly, I take curl of R vector by R cube. So I find out the curl, that is ijk for graph del del x del del y del del z, and R vector by R cube is x by R cube, y by R cube and z by R cube, and I find out the curl as 0. You just find out of one component along I cap direction, that is del del y of z by R cube. Now R equals to, we all know that R equals to x square plus y square plus z square whole to the power 3 half. So R cube will be whole to the power 3 by 2. Okay, you solve this using R cube value of this and you get this will be exactly the same and opposite with the other one. So this term will be 0, this term will be 0, this term will also be 0. So all over this will become 0. So B will be, this is, since this is 2F vector, now I need half of curl of F cross R, because half of curl of F cross R, that was my F vector, curl of F. So 2 half of 2 into F vector, that is my curl of F, which is remaining. So this will be F vector and this is the B. whenever you are given the vector potential A and you are instructed to find out the magnetic field, what you have to do, you have to take the curl of the vector potential and you will find out the magnetic field vector. Okay, so let us proceed to the next question, which is an electromagnetic wave is incident on a water-air interface. Water-air interface. The phase of the perpendicular component of the electric field E perpendicular of the reflected wave into water is found to remain the same for all angle of incidence. The phase of the magnetic field is how much? Okay. The question is that there is an interface of air and water, and the electromagnetic wave is incident on water-air interface. So first medium is the water and second medium is the air. You have to tell that if the electric field component vector E perpendicular remain unchanged, what will be the change of the phase in the magnetic field component? So I am telling you the answer that the magnetic field component field vector of that is H will changes by pi. Why is it so? You have to remember that a light wave traveling in air that is reflected by a glass barrier. Suppose from air, the first medium is air and the second medium is water. So the light wave from air to water, it is traveling. Then the electric field vector will undergo a 180-degree phase change, while magnetic field vector will undergo a 0-degree phase change, and vice versa is true when from the water to air, the electromagnetic field component of the electric field will be 0 and the magnetic field will undergo a phase difference of pi. Where is it coming from? It is coming from Stokes' law. Okay, Stokes' law of reflection. I advise you to study this Stokes' law of reflection, where you will get the answer why this is r into r prime will be -1. So why you are getting this phase shift, there will be a time reversal relation, and you will find out the answer from studying the Stokes' law of reflection. For that, this is the answer that the magnetic field will changes by phase changes by amount of pi. Now the next question, that is a charged particle emits an electromagnetic radiation. The electric field E vector and the Poynting vector S at a larger distance from emitter vary as 1 by r to the power n and 1 by r to the power n respectively. What is the value of n and m? Before that, I want to tell you, I have discussed in a video how electromagnetic field is generated. Please go and watch that video. But till I will say something, the physics behind the question, that is the charge particle. When the charge particle accelerates, then only you will get electromagnetic radiation. Because this, due to the acceleration of the charge particle, suppose that there is a charge, that is positive charge, and the electric flux will be outward, radially outward, and whenever the charge particle is accelerating, there will be the bending of this electric flux. Okay, so due to this bending of the charge particle, suppose the charge particle is accelerated for a certain time, small delta t. So for that small delta t, there will be a bending of the charge particle, electric flux, and this kind of bending of the electric flux, this area, this is the bended region, will manifest itself as a propagation of the electromagnetic wave. This is purely classical electromagnetic theory explanation. Okay, there is another quantum explanation. This is purely classical explanation. So whenever charge is accelerating, due to that acceleration, the electric field lines or electric flux will be bent, and due to this bending of the electromagnetic field lines, we can get the electromagnetic radiation. Now we have also discussed in this case the electric field lines. The electric field lines will be due to the radiation, electromagnetic radiation, the responsible electric vector component will be E perpendicular, that is perpendicular component of the electric field. We can say that why is it so? Because from Maxwell's law we also know that E is perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Suppose the electric field, the charge is going along along this direction. Suppose this is with a velocity u, and there is a audience or someone who is sitting here at a distance r. So I can say that the electric field vector which is responsible for this electromagnetic wave propagation will be the perpendicular of the r vector, where the r direction is the direction of the propagation. Okay, so the electric field component responsible for the electromagnetic wave will be the perpendicular electric field component that is perpendicular to the direction of propagation of the electromagnetic wave. That's why I have written it as E perpendicular, that is the electric field component. That is E perpendicular is proposed for the accelerating charged particle or for the electromagnetic radiation. Electric field vector will be proportional to 1 by r. For Coulomb charge, if electric field is 1 by r square, there is no acceleration, this will be 1 by r square. But in case of electromagnetic field radiation, it will get EMF, electric field will be proportional to 1 by r, and electric field perpendicular component will be proportional to the acceleration perpendicular component. Okay, in that video I have discussed, but I here also discuss it again. So you have to make the conclusion that the electric field is proportional to 1 by r, and similarly the magnetic field will be proportional to 1 by r because B equals to 1 by c. So Poynting vector will be proportional to E cross B, so that will be proportional to 1 by r square. So this is the two things, that whenever the charged particle emits electromagnetic radiation, the electric field will be proportional to 1 by r, magnetic field will be proportional to 1 by r, the Poynting vector will be proportional to 1 by r square. Here the question they ask you the electric field and the Poynting vector. So here n will be 1, that is 1 by r, and the Poynting vector is the 1 by r square. So this is fully consistent with the conservation of electromagnetic wave. Now let us proceed to the next question. That is, electric field vector and magnetic field vector are unchanged when the vector potential will change to A plus r cap. What will be the change in the scalar potential phi, where r is given as, r is a function of t into r cap. What does it mean? That E can be written as, in terms of magnetic field vector potential and scalar potential, we can write as E equals to minus grad phi minus del A by del t. Okay, and whenever you have a question, is this E A is unique? Is this phi is unique? No, this A, this phi are not unique. If you take the gradient of A and you take B equals to curl of A, so if you take something gradient of lambda and you write that A prime equals to gradient of lambda plus A, then the curl of A prime will also be B. Okay, so that is that you may change the A vector, but you have to change also the phi vector, that is vector potential, scalar potential, because suppose you have just only changed the A vector and you haven't changed the phi vector, then due to this relation minus del A del t, A will be changed. There is no change in phi, so electric field will be changed. But here the electric field and magnetic field vector should be unchanged. So if we want to change A, then we should have to change phi, so that the overall electric field and magnetic field should be unchanged. Okay. So if you change this A vector as A to A plus r cap, what will be the change of phi? That is our question. So here we have the rule that we can change A up to A plus, suppose this is scalar quantity psi, so A plus grad psi, where the value of grad psi is r cap. So grad psi we can also write as del psi del r because it is along r direction, and this will be 1. So psi will be r plus some constant value, and then phi prime will, I have to change accordingly, that phi prime should be phi minus del psi by del t. If both the changes are simultaneous, then only the electric field magnetic field will be unchanged. So phi prime will be phi minus del psi del t. Earlier we get the value of psi. We put the value of psi as r plus c. Now del t of a constant vector will be, constant value will be 0. This term will be 0 when we take the derivative, and this term will be del r del t. Why? in question r is a function of t, so we cannot tell that r is a constant function, so del r del t will be existing, not 0, because r is a function of t. So this is the value of psi, changed psi whenever you change the potential, vector potential. So the vector potentials, scalar potentials are not unique, they are not measurables, but the electric field or magnetic field are physically measurable. So if you want to change the vector potential or scalar potential, you have to change them accordingly so that the electric field, magnetic field shouldn't change. Okay. Now proceed to another question. A current I is created by a narrow beam of protons moving in vacuum with constant velocity u. The direction and magnitude respectively of the Poynting vector s outside the beam at a radial distance are much larger than the width of the beam. Okay, there is a very important point is the way we are taking the approximation of larger distance. Here also this is a larger distance. This approximation is only valid for the largest distance. Okay, this is a very if the field, suppose there is a current is passing and your r is the nearest, r is distance is very less than the length of the current, then you cannot make these approximations. So the r should be much greater than the dimensions of the charges or dimension of the current. Okay, so here you can understand that look at the options that we have already told you, that the Poynting vector is along the propagation of the current and along the propagation of the velocity of the charge, and the Poynting vector is proportional to 1 by r square. So look at the options, that here Poynting vector is perpendicular to u, so it cannot be true. Poynting vector is parallel to minus u, it is also not true, not opposite. Poynting vector is parallel to u, this may be right or this may be right, because both the Poynting vector is parallel to the velocity of the current. Well, now look at the magnitude of the Poynting vector. The direction wise both the options can be correct, but the magnitude here is proportional to I square by 4 pi epsilon naught into u vector. It will be as it is same, 1 by r square and 1 by r to the power 4. So definitely this will be the option, that is 1 by proportional to s is proportional to 1 by r square. Just seeing the options you can understand the option C is right and option D is incorrect. But if you want to derive it, then traditionally you have to derive the magnetic field. You have to take, suppose the current is along z direction, so magnetic field will be mu naught I by 2 pi r, where r is much larger than the width of the beam, and so B will be along phi cap. Then accordingly you find out the electric field and then you find out the Poynting vector and you get the value of the Poynting vector and direction also. So these are the questions that were discussed from CSIR 2012. For now it's enough. Next day we will discuss something more. Till then, happy learning, and please like and subscribe our channel to get further updates. Thank you.